think about your last strategy review session. Think about that. Now, I don't know if you run them regularly or when you last ran one. Some companies haven't run them in a while. And the reason for that is because they're very often just a carbon copy of the last one. So what very often happens is you review what you wanted to achieve, you look at what you haven't achieved, and then you try and put some plans in place to get somewhere next year, right? And maybe you achieve those things, maybe you don't. Do these strategy sessions give you a strategic advantage? Because I think that if they're not giving you a strategic advantage, then why run them? Because a strategy review session can be much more than just a little review of what you have and haven't done, and then let's get going. So here are some things that you might want to think about. The first thing is a shared vision. You know, a lot of strategy sessions, we've seen this a lot, are a little bit like Las Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happens in the Strat session stays in the Strat session. That's crazy. The idea of a strategy session is that you're empowering people to think about the future. You're trying to get your whole team on board with one vision. Isn't that the whole idea? So that's the first thing. The second thing that you can start doing is look at the big picture. You see, a lot of times companies fight the last war. They fight the last battle. So what does that mean? That means it worked last time. Let's do that again. And what happens is you start getting into the law of diminishing returns. What you want to do is you want to start from a clean slate and think, what could we be doing to give us a strategic advantage? The next thing that a strategic review should give you, I don't know if yours does, is a dashboard. It's all very well doing your strat review once or twice a year. That's lovely. What you actually want is a week-by-week mechanism by which I know that we're achieving those goals or not. Otherwise, the goals become meaningless. They lie in the bottom drawer somewhere, or they're on a shelf like the one behind me, and nobody looks at them, and then it's a sterile thing, right? People are running on memory. It's not effective. So you want a dashboard so that week by week, I know in my department and everybody knows in their job exactly what needs to happen for the next week, and are we achieving our goals or not? And the final thing that a strat session should give you is a sense of urgency. If you think about it, right? A year's got 52 weeks, but in South Africa, at least, we take off at least 2 weeks at Christmas, if not 3 weeks. Christmas and New Year, you know, from the 16th to about the 7th of January, that's 3 weeks gone. And there's typically 10 days in April that are just lost. So then now we're down to 49 weeks, right? 48 weeks. That means every single week that goes by, that's 2% of the year gone. That's 2% of the year gone every single week. And here you are watching videos. So what I'm saying is this: you should have a sense of urgency. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. If your strat session gave everybody in the organization a sense of shared purpose and shared direction, if you knew that you weren't fighting last year's war, that you were fighting this year's war, that you were really doing the stuff that was going to make you succeed against this year's competitors in this year and next year's markets, if you had a dashboard where you knew week by week where you were going, that you were actually achieving your goals, and if you had a sense of urgency so that every 2% of the year that goes by, every week that goes by, you're actually making 2% progress, do you think that would give you a strategic advantage? I think it would. You see, I don't know if you do strat reviews. I don't know if you do. I don't know if you run a strat session from year to year or every 6 months. Some people do it in 6-month cycles. But if you do, that's exactly the kind of strategy session that we would like to get behind. That's the kind of thing that we would like you to do. Because we think that the more South African businesses succeed, the more our country as a whole will succeed. And let's face it, that's what we all want, isn't it? Isn't that what we all want? To live in a South Africa that's succeeding? So look, I'll tell you what. Click on the link. We will send you information on how to run an effective strategy session. And if you fill in the form, we will call you. We will call you. You can't say fairer than that, hey? So click on the link, go on, you know what to do. You know you want to go on. Click. I hope to see you soon.